What's happening, guys and gals? Welcome back to another episode with Mom and Papa Joe's. Today's menu will be pork spare ribs. Today I'm going to be doing my version of a backyard rib along with my version of a competition rib. Not my actual recipe, but a competition recipe. We're going to wrap the competition recipe in aluminum foil like I normally do, and the backyard recipe we're going to wrap in butcher paper. Both are going to be injected. Without further ado, let's get to moving. Alright, so let's get these ribs injected. You noticed up front we're not going to talk any trimming or anything along those lines. I've already got a rib trimming, an awesome rib trimming video already out there. Please take a look if you're interested in how I go about trimming my ribs. These are two beautiful racks. I St. Louis them myself. They're nice and healthy, nice and thick. And guys and gals, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do so. We really need your assistance along those lines. Today my injection is pretty simple. It's 3/4 of a tablespoon of Miner's pork base. I buy this on Amazon, with a 1.5 cups of water. I'm going to inject both of these racks with a little over a cup and save a little bit of my injection for when I'm wrapping one rack of these ribs. I told you up front, one is going to be a backyard style, the other is going to be more of a competition style. It's not going to be my actual competition recipe I'm currently using, but it is going to be a competition recipe. That Miner's has ground meat in it, so it has to be really strained out to get cleaned up. I am not adding anything else to this injection besides the Miner's base and water. There's no right or wrong way to inject. You inject however you can to get it in there. I am a fan of not injecting from the top because sometimes during the cook you see some of that injection leaching out and destroying your that bark. And we're going to call it quits. This is going to be enough. Got just a little bit left for my rib wrap. So we're going to give these a few minutes to relax and let whatever wants to ooze out, and then we're going to come back and season it. Right now we're going to go outside and get the fire started. Haha! As you can see, I am cooking today on my long lost WSM, my Weber Smokey Mountain, and not one of my favorite Traegers. Today I've got it loaded up with briquettes, cowboy briquettes, all natural hardwood. Thank you, Western Wood, for taking care of me. I've got it loaded with chunks of pecan. It's a windy day, cooler, so I expect that I'm going to burn more than I normally do. I just simply use my handheld torch and start lighting from the direction the wind is blowing. And this will slowly burn for 8 to 10 hours on a regular day. Today it's going to burn a little faster. So I'm satisfied right now that this little corner is pretty well lit. I'm going to let that go out in the open for another 5 or so minutes. Come back, put my chamber on, and try to lock my temperature in around that 275 mark. See you in a little bit. All right, while our pit is preheating, let's get these 2 racks seasoned up. I'm going to treat them the same way minus the seasonings. This is going to be my backyard rack. This is going to be my competition rack. I love to use a binder. You can use the binder of your choice. Oil, your injection, whatever the case might be. I like mustard. You don't need a whole lot. On my competition rack, the first thing I want to put down is some McCormick coarse cracked pepper. I like it for the visual that it gives. It provides underneath your glaze at the end. I put it on both sides. The next thing I'm going to come back with on my competition rack is an awesome rub called the Juicy Pig. I'm going to use this as my base. This rub has brought home many first place rib awards, trophies for us. This is made by Texas Select. My buddy Bill Powell. What's up, Wild Bill? Then I'll come back with my little sweet heat Sucker Busters Texas Pecan. This huge bottle I pour out of it. Little nondescript container. Both of these are what I call a medium coat. Beautiful. Now I'll come back with my heavy crack black pepper. I put this together myself. This is going to be on my backyard rack. Much larger grind than the McCormick coarse. All right, let's knock out this front side. Our pit is warming up nicely. Same thing, mustard. My Juicy Pig. My Sucker Busters. So we're going to give these another 10 or so, maybe 15 minutes to sweat in. That pit's going to be up to temperature and we're going to drop these. See you outside. This WSM is locked in at 275, guys and gals. And our racks have got a nice sweat going. Let's put these puppies on the grill. All right, we'll come back and take a look at these in about an hour. All right, we are at an hour. Let's see if we need to do any type of rotating. Definitely time for spritzing. Things are looking a little dry. That bark is nice and tight. I'm gonna hit these with my favorite spritz for all things pork. 2 parts apple cider vinegar, 1 part white vinegar, and 2 parts maple syrup. I want to adjust this to just a mist. I don't want this to spray, I want this to more of a mist. So let me adjust my nozzle. And that's it. I don't want to get these too wet. Just want to put a little moisture on them. Not going to do any rotating. Gonna just let this baby get back to cooking at 275. We will see her again in maybe another 45 minutes to an hour to see if it's gonna be time for wrapping. So when I'm wrapping, my competition wrap is in foil. My backyard wrap is in butcher paper. It's a little windy out, and I hope these cameras are going to do it justice. I come down with a little sprinkle of light brown sugar. Same 2 rubs that I used to season. Nice healthy shake. I go grab my ribs. Come back. Now is a great time to pull off any of these burnt hanger-ons. Little light brown sugar on top. I wrap meat side down. Reseason with those same 2 rubs. And then over the top, a little Texas pepper jelly, peach mango habanero. You don't need a whole lot. And on the sides, I come back with the rest of, might be less than a 1/4 cup of my pork stock that I use to inject with. I'm using HEB heavy duty aluminum foil. I only need 1 layer. It's extra heavy duty. I want to wrap this as tightly as possible to reduce room for steaming. Remember, I am bone down in my wrap foil. I come back. Hot, hot. Want to give that a nice little spritz on top. A little spritz to jump start the steaming / braising process in this butcher paper. I will start wrapping bone up. One. I am now boned down. Nice and tight. And back on the pit. All right, folks, here we are, an hour and 20 minutes wrapped. And I think these ribs are ready. I checked them at an hour and they still needed a few more minutes, so I gave them another 20. Let's take one look. I can usually tell when my ribs are ready. I give them a little poke, and when it feels like if I poke hard enough I can poke a hole through them, I know they're ready. So to get these finished up, what I like to do is I want to taste this juice that's left on the bottom here. I want to make sure it's not burnt, discolored. And man, that is absolutely delicious. I want to spoon that over my ribs. I'm going to let this dry before I sauce. And what this does, it creates another layer of flavor on these ribs. I've got some of that, excuse me, I've got some of that Texas pepper jelly in here, some of my seasonings, some of that savory pork stock. This is nothing but delicious. I've got my wool gloves on here. I want to make sure some of this runs off. I'm going to simply put this onto the pit now. I'm gonna let that dry out for about 5-7 minutes. Come back and finish saucing. I'm gonna let my my backyard rack go probably another 10 minutes, and we're gonna call it good there. See you back here shortly. Well, it's been about 7 minutes. Let's take a look, see if that's dried enough for us to sauce our competition rack. Excellent. You don't want to sauce when it's that wet with that foil juice I just poured over it, only because your sauce will never set. What I'm using here today is just a simple Head Country apple habanero, right out the bottle, no doctoring. Before I do that though, I want to add my 2 seasonings. Texas Select Juicy Pig. Very important that you re-season coming out of that foil. The steam in that foil has a way of sapping some of the oomph from your products. So a light coat of each. And now I'm going to come back with my Head Country apple habanero. A nice, sweet, gentle heat. I'm not moving any. At this time, we'll also go ahead and take a look, see at our backyard rack. Oh man, these feel great. All right. Oh, excellent. We're gonna let these 2 dry out for another 5 or so minutes, 7 minutes, and we will call it a day. We'll get to slicing. Oh man. Oh, I don't know how well you can see that glisten. I do not know. This is Central Texas right here. Huge cracked black pepper, man. That juiciness. Oh my goodness. And as we look at competition, oh, great texture. That is absolutely wonderful texture. My wife has already claimed she's gonna give this to somebody. So let's start with my backyard. I don't want that sweeter rib to destroy my taste buds. I'm just gonna grab one of the end pieces. Oh. Oh my goodness. That chew that I like. So savory, so rich from that miner's injection. And again, folks, just salt and pepper. Oh. This, I can sit here and eat 5-6 bones of these. That sweeter rib, I can barely eat 1 bone. But I'm gonna try it. Oh, that is delicious. Central Texas to the max. All right, here's the sweet. Nice gentle bite. Man, it is so delicious, so rich, but the sweet, I'm just not a fan of. It does really well in competitions, but just not a fan of the sweet. Hey, you can't go wrong with either one. Absolutely cannot. Very simple cook, folks. Barely took 3.5 hours, 3:45. Great seasonings on the competition. Texas Select Juicy Pig with some Sucker Busters Texas Pecan. My backyard, just straight black pepper and salt. You can make this happen. I want to thank you guys once again for joining Mom and Papa Joe's. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to hit me up in the comments below. And once again, guys and gals, please, 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 we need your support. Please hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend. Hit that like button. Ring that bell and make sure you get notified of our next video, which is coming up shortly. We need your subscriptions. Thank you very much. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get nothing but the good shit and not the bullshit. See you next time.